Oh yeah, it was not good. Well, hey, all, Shabbat Shalom, welcome. We're just gonna get right into it. So we're gonna start with our blessing over the candles. Brenda and are we gonna have the whole? Yes. All right. Both come up. Excellent. That's on page 120 on your prayer books. If you want to follow along. Where's Ella? Oh no. Where's she working? Oh, okay. Oh man, thank you. Beautiful. All right, moving over to 128, I believe. Feels right. Yes, 128. Yes. Okay. You're okay. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achiot gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achiot gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. And then move over to Lachado D on page 138. And tonight we're going to recite paragraphs 1, 5, and 9. When we arrive on paragraph 9, I invite you to stand up and face the entrance as we greet the Shabbat bride. Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'sachor b'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem letiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, Kiva ore kumi ori, uri shir daberi, Kavod Adonai lek negila. Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise. Bo'i v'shalom ateret ba'al, gam b'smicha u'b'zolam, toch emunei am segulam. Bo'i chala. Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. You may be seated. Okay, we now over to page 142 for Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Turn the page to 144. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah Bilmad Ivra v'yirchei v'yamlik malchutei B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imaru amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'alam u'lam me'al mayam Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitbramam v'yitnasein v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Kudesha Barichu Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Da'al miran be'alman v'imru Amen. Now turn to the Baruch Hu on page 146, and when you arrive there, I invite you to stand with me. Lie, 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 You may be seated. Let's read the English together on top of page 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sails of stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hamariv aravim. And let's continue in the English on the bottom part of page 151 together. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than it's the holiest of your works in the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Moving over to 152 for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malachuto Leolam Avad. We're over on 154. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lavacha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meyodecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinartam levarnecha v'divartam ba'am V'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvtecha b'derech, u'shofbecha uvkumecha, u'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, u'ktaftam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha. L'ma'an tizkeru v'asitem et chol mitzvotai, V'tem kedoshim leloechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzetechem meretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem lelohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Okay. We now move to page 158 of your prayer books. Lie, 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 mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'edar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot osei pele, nora tehilot osei pele, la 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 we move to Vishamru on page 162. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. B'nai Yuvain, B'nai Yisrael, B'nai Yisrael, Oti leolam, Vishamru B'nai Yisrael, Et HaShabbat, Lasot Et HaShabbat, Ledorotam Berit Olam, Ki Shechet Yamim, Asa Adonai, Asa Adonai, Et HaShamayim ve'et haaretz, V'shamru b'nei Yisrael, Et HaShabbat, Lasot Et HaShabbat, Ledorotam Berit Olam, Uvayom Hashvi'i, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Vishamru b'nei Yisrael, Et HaShabbat, Lasot Et HaShabbat, Ledorotam Berit Olam. We now move over to the Amidah on page 164, and when you arrive there, I invite you to stand with me. Adonai sefatai tiftach uvi yagitehi latecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach uvi yagitehi latecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol v'Ha'gibor v'Ha'noram El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula L'Ibnei B'neihem L'man Shemo V'Yahavam Malchot Zer Moshiach U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Abraham Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atah Ram Yoshia Mashri HaRuach U'Mari HaGa'ashem Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed Mechayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rafei Cholim U'Matir Masarim U'Mechayei Me'emunato L'Shanei Avar Michal V'Chava'ah V'Berot U'Midom Melach Melech Meimit U'Mechayei U'Matmir Yeshua L'man Atah L'Chayot HaKol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayei HaKol. You'll now continue silently until page 180. You may be seated whenever you like. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'yakol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, Ve'yakol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'yakol Yisrael. 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 All right, now some words of Torah. In this week's portion, we are in the good part of the Joseph story arc. He has successfully implemented a plan to save Egypt from famine, and this success has led him to become the most powerful man in Egypt. And he gets to see his family and reveal his success to them in a dramatic way that he fashioned with maximum effect. So he's doing great. However, the journey he took to get to this spot was full of hardship. He was sold by his brothers to slavery. When he worked his way up to run the household of the Egyptian court official Potiphar, he was falsely accused of adultery and sent to prison. He languished in prison for a long time before he received his lucky break to interpret Pharaoh's dream and become viceroy. He has lived a life of extremes. And a question that I often ask myself about our Torah heroes is, what were they thinking? Like, what were going on in their thoughts? Our Torah is woefully bereft of details. I feel every story is essentially an outline with missing pages. Thus, we either have to make up details, like what we see in the Midrash, or scrutinize every little statement that the Torah has to offer. Tonight, I'm going to scrutinize. Joseph lived an incredible life. He must have had a few thoughts about it along the way. We don't get to know much. However, there's one thing he says to his brothers during his epic reveal that makes you really wonder what he was thinking. And it goes like this. Then Joseph said to his brothers, "Come forward to me." And when they came forward, he said, "I'm your brother Joseph, he whom you sold to Egypt." And this is like the reveal, so gasps from his brothers. That's me adding on. I don't think there was actually that in the Torah. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for the gasp, yes. Now, do not be distressed or reproach yourselves because you sold me. It was to save life that God sent me ahead of you. God has sent me ahead of you to ensure your survival on earth and to save your lives in an extraordinary deliverance. So it was not you who sent me here, but God, who has made me a father to Pharaoh, lord of all his household, and ruling over the whole land of Egypt. I mean, it's a bit braggy, his reveal, but it's real nice of Joseph to let his brothers off the hook for what I can only imagine would be a crushing amount of guilt. So the brothers don't need to feel bad. But what did Joseph feel throughout this journey? Did he believe the whole time that he was essentially a vessel of God's plans? Or did he come to realize that God was involved only after his success? It'd be great to know how Joseph defined his life as he was living it. For example, while languishing in prison, did he recall his dreams he had as a child of his brothers bowing down to him? Did the memory of those dreams help him through this difficult time? Or did he have more of a "God, why have you forsaken me" kind of approach to prison? I guess I want to know how he kept his mental well-being intact to achieve such incredible things
after his bad luck had run its course. Because it's easy to say that God wanted me to be rich, successful, handsome, beautiful, and charming. But it's more complicated to say God wanted me to be wrongly convicted and sentenced to a lifetime of incarceration. That's more complicated. And this is my critique of Joseph explaining how he's just working through God. Too often we are told by others that everything we do or experience is part of God's plan. And Joseph is the poster child of this way of thinking. That deep faith and reverence to God is the only reason that good things ever happen to people. And I acknowledge that deep faith and reverence to God is valuable and important for many people. There are many ways to have faith and show reverence without bragging that success comes from God. Experiencing joy on Shabbat is also an expression of faith and reverence. Helping to repair the world is another expression of faith and reverence. But it's just not possible to take a stance that faith and reverence leads to success without diminishing those whose life has been a struggle. Showing a person's Joseph's story who has experienced great tragedy is not helpful. Not all of us will become Viceroy of Egypt. In fact, I'm reasonably sure that the office of Viceroy doesn't exist in Egypt anymore. Instead, I'd rather show people what Joseph was thinking while he was a slave or while incarcerated. That would be so much more helpful. I would love to show people how Joseph stayed hopeful or how Joseph protected his mental health. I would love to show people why Joseph's darkest moments did not sabotage his greatest moments. Alas, the Torah didn't give us that kind of detail. I have no idea what Joseph was thinking, other than what he told his brothers about how God guided him to Egypt. And perhaps Joseph wasn't being honest with his own thoughts. Maybe Joseph truly believed he was just got lucky. He could be very well saying that he is God's vessel just to make his brothers feel better about selling him to slavery. He could be offering a narrative that is a kindness to prevent his brothers from being racked with guilt. Because we have no idea what Joseph is thinking, this theory is just as possible as anything else. While I often lament the lack of detail in our Torah, honestly, there are some advantages to it. For example, instead of asking what is this story trying to say, we can ask, what does this story mean to me? And that meaning changes. In fact, every year, when we reread each portion of the Torah, for me, each portion is different from last year, not because the portion changed since last year, but because I changed. Thank you. We now move on to the Armisha Barak, A Prayer for Healing, on page 371. In our own community, we're thinking about Ross Rumack, Frank Irwiskin, Haley Goodstein, Bob Goodstein, Alex Bortnick, Anita Gibbs, Hannah Dietrich, and Lois Spies. If there's someone who you are thinking about who's in need of healing, please feel free to say their names out loud or in your hearts as my hand crosses through. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu, mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing, with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We now move to the Elenu on page 587 of your prayer books. When you arrive there, I invite you to stand with me. Elenu l'shabbat la'adon ha'kol, la'tekidu la'yotzer breshit, shehu samchel kinu lechedet shemo, v'geralenu lahamlik malchuto, la'nachnu korim, umishachavim u'lovim, livnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Turn to page 591. As we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us with the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech. May we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech kol ha'aretz v'yom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. We now turn to our Mourner's Kaddish on page 598 of your prayer books. And today we're thinking about these yahrzeits: Maurice Geckler, Harold Greenbaum, George Kerman, Joe Kirkner, Francis Pascar, Marion Silverbrook, and Harry Wasserman. If there's someone who you are thinking about, please feel free to say their names out loud or in your hearts. Zikunom Livracham, the memories before a blessing. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'ilma divrah cherotev yamlik machute. B'chayechon uvyamechon uvchayedachol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarak la'olam ulamei almaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yipramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kudashah barichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'miran be'elma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, l'chayim aleini v'yakol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleini v'yakol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. If the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, amen. You may be seated. All right, not too many announcements today. Essentially, we got our normal prayer things going on. So every Wednesday at 8:30, we have our morning minyan. And then every Thursday, that's over Zoom. And then on Thursday, it's in person at 8:30 right here. And we go and get pancakes afterwards, a cup of pancakes. Love for you to come. Those numbers are kind of low right now. So if you want to come on a Thursday, it would be awesome. And then Rizzo School is closed for the next 3 weeks. On anything there. We have got Shabbat tomorrow morning at 10:30. And we have Oneg after this. And what else we have going on? Oh, yeah. So the big news. So in 2 weeks' time, Moshe is going to be ordained as a rabbi. So he'll be Rabbi Moshe, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, he'll come back. He'll leave Alaska not a rabbi and come back to Alaska a rabbi. I don't know. Is that how that works? Yeah, it's how that works. Yes, exactly. Anyway, so pretty exciting for that. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? Oh, right. Oh, our board, we have a new board president, President-elect Roy. Okay. We're being very technical. Okay.
Technically, yes. Spoke like a true board president right there. Oh, sorry, board president-elect. Technically, yeah. Okay, all right, well, great. We're going to move on then to our closing melody, which is going to be Ozi Zimrat Yah on 647. Yeah, 647. Bottom of the page. Ozi vazimrat yah vayahi li lishua. Ozi vazimrat yah vayahi li lishua. Ozi vazimrat yah vayahi Lishua. Ozi vazimrat yah vayahi Lishua. Ozi vazimrat yah vayahi Lishua. Shabbat shalom. Come get me. Come get me. Come over here.